fine. So see, there is one question, okay, which is like, is law necessary? There is another question which is on functions of law. Both these two questions are same. So we would just discuss one, okay? We would discuss what are functions of law. And then when I shared this notes with you, you would get to know that is law necessary is just the same thing. Just in a different way, I have written the answer. Okay, these are otherwise same answer only. Okay, because law performs a lot of functions, that's why law is necessary basically. So can we do this one now or next class? What you suggest?
Ma'am, we'll do this one now.
We can do this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Fine. So this is, see, there is one question which I saw that was like define law, or sometimes they may ask what is law. Along with that, they would say what are the functions of law
Functions
or
of law.
necessary. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the difference between these two questions? Okay. One is what is law? Another one is define law. What is the difference between these two questions?
Okay.
Like, would you write the same answer or would you write something different if there are these questions?
No, ma'am, I would write the same answer because it's one and only the same. We have to just explain what is it, what law is.
Okay.
So, what is law? It is like it. It is rules and regulations. Again, define law. Law is what defined as rule. It is rules and regulations and something like that. It is similar. I feel, ma'am. I feel both are same.
Okay. So see, in different subjects of law, right? One is very common question where they would ask you to define a certain thing, define law, define contract, define this, define that. Okay. For different subjects, you would get this question. Define law and what is law is two different questions. Okay. I tell you why. When they ask you what is law, as in they are asking for your opinion, your understanding. Based on your understanding, what is law? There you can say that, okay, law is rules and regulations, whatever you feel, you can write. But when they give the question, what define law, they are asking you to write definitions. And these definitions are given by some jurists, some famous writers. Like we have studied Ellen Watson, right? Like that, we have a lot of jurists. What definition they have give, you need to give it in proper quotation, same exact same thing.
Okay, like the people's point of view towards law.
Yes.
So we have to tell that. So when they ask for define, we have to tell people's point of view.
Yes.
And then if they are asking what is law, so they are asking what is law to us, like what is our opinion in that.
There you can write meaning. So like define law is like a very common question which I have seen. So you can try to remember at least 3 or 4 definitions. These are like very important, like easy ones which I have picked up. So you can try reading them also. Or there are a lot of definitions available online. You can refer them as well. How good are you in remembering things? Memorizing?
Yeah, ma'am, I do.
You are fine, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
Fine. I used to find it very hard and, you know, like very like an unnecessary kind of a question. Like, why should we remember what somebody else has defined? I used to find these questions like very stupid. But yes, there are some people who can. I was not able to like by heart these. It was very difficult for me to remember it. So correct. Then it is fine. 2-3 definitions you can remember. That's why like I have picked up the most like easiest definitions which are available so that you can somehow remember it. Okay, so what is law? If whatever the question might be, both the things are given here. What is law? Laws are nothing but rules and regulations which we need to regulate members of the society. It involves uniformity of behavior, constancy of happening, or a course of event. Now, law is not static. It would keep on changing with time. Why do we need law? Because we all live in a society. So many people are there. We may have our different interests, different opinions and everything, right? And if there is no law, we may end up fighting for every single thing, right? Just because there is law, it tells us about the minimum expected behavior. Like take for example, if I like mangoes a lot, okay, like I love mangoes. One day I was going to work and then I saw at someone's place there is like a big mango tree with ripe mangoes. And I thought, why not go inside the property? I started plucking mangoes and eating them. Okay, so would I do that? I would not do it, right? Because there is a
Yeah.
law and I know it. Entering someone else's private plot of land without their permission, without their invitation is a wrong. It is
Wrong.
what kind of a wrong? Do you know the name?
Uh, no, ma'am.
It is
I'm not.
trespass. Okay, in
Press.
law.
Okay, trespass. Huh. I knew the name, but then I didn't know that it was for that. I've seen the board that trespasses will be prosecuted and thing.
Okay.
So in on someone's land or something, they would have put a board of that trespassers will be prosecuted.
Otherwise
I didn't know.
also, trespassers would be prosecuted. They would usually write in empty plots of land where there
Yeah,
is no
yeah,
one around, right? There
yeah,
they would, right? But otherwise
yeah.
also, private plot of land, if you are entering, it's trespass, whether there is notice or not. Okay,
Okay,
so
so it's huh.
yes, trespass. So why would I not enter someone else's plot of land and pluck mangoes just because there is a law and I know it is a wrong thing to do? Right. So that's how law becomes very important, and it helps us to live peacefully in a society with differences in opinions also. Right, so that is what law is. Then definitions, you can try to read them, no other option available for us. Okay, now we would look at functions of law. Now functions of law as in what are the functions that law performs. So you must have heard of this law, that law, this, that. Can you tell me what are the functions of law? If not, you have not heard of much of different types of laws, you can just think about your own college. Like you need to go on time to attend classes, you need some mandatory attendance, all that. Just randomly tell me, what are the functions of law according to you?
Maybe you should abide by that. Uh,
You should abide by that, but what function it performs? What happens if you abide by that?
Maybe we'll be disciplined, ma'am.
Okay.
Like we can maintain peace in the society,
Yes.
and people might become more aware of it, and they will start following if we tell them about this, or tell them to follow.
Hmm.
I hope, and I guess there'll be no crime. In my honest opinion, there might be no crime if everybody start following law,
Hmm.
and it'll be the most disciplined country.
Okay. And
Yeah, ma'am.
that's all.
Yeah, ma'am. I just know very few. I what just came to my mind was only so much.
Okay, fine. So we will see what are the functions of law. Okay, so first of all, maintenance of law and order in the society. We all would act in a certain proper way, right? Like you must have seen in different parks, you would see dogs are not allowed, no cycling, no running, no jogging, only walking is allowed. You need to walk clockwise. All this ensure that everyone is following the rules and it would maintain peace and order in the society. Like there is a park which was there next to my office. I saw it was like so many signboards were there. Okay, when you go in, like it was like an LIC park opened by LIC, but it was available for general public also. You can also go there. It was a very small park just for walking and all, you can go there. Okay, so the moment you open the gate, it would be written there with big like a board that you need to close the gate also. So you would definitely close the gate. Once you go inside it, it would be written only clockwise you can walk. As in you would not go this way, you would go this way. Once you turn, it would be written no cycling, no jogging, no running is allowed, only walking is allowed. That means you would start walking. Then there is this flowers and everything, no plucking of flowers. Or
Yeah.
everywhere there were like signboards. So what happens is Because it was all written there was no security guard or anything, but everyone was following the rules. There used to be a lot of people coming in, but everyone was peacefully walking. It was like a very small park, okay? Only I think like hardly 3-4 people can go together. It was that small, but still there were a lot of people coming there. They were walking, they were sitting in the sitting area, they were doing exercise also. Why? Because even if it was small, because people were following the rules, right? That is how it helped. So maintenance of law and order in the society, it would help us. Second is protection of fundamental rights and statutory rights. For us to be able to live peacefully, we need some rights. Okay, so if someone tells you that from today you don't have any rights, whatever I'm telling you, you need to follow it. It would be very difficult for you to live peacefully. Okay, we need some basic rights for us. So these rights are guaranteed by constitution, by different legislations. Okay, so when you read constitution, you would see bunch of rights are there. You have freedom of speech and expression. You have freedom to form assembly. You have right to privacy. You have right to education. You have right to internet. So many rights are provided. And these rights would help us make our life livable. Okay, it's not that we just have right to life. We just somehow need to survive with food, clothing, and shelter. No. We need all those other things which are necessary to make our life livable or to make our life better. Okay, and these things are again guaranteed by legislation only, by a law. Okay, third one is source of development of new laws. Like you must have seen this, right? When you maybe when you want to prepare something, maybe assignment or some practicals or stuff, you would first do a rough work, right? You would first think, okay, I need to do it this way. Then you would make a fair copy of it, right? So when you have a rough copy, you know how you can improvise on it, right? If you don't have a rough copy, it might become very difficult at first to make the best thing out of it, right? When you make this, you know, okay, these are the things where I can improvise and you can make a better copy. Same happens for laws also. For one topic where we don't have a law, first they would introduce a law. This law will apply for some time. Then they will come to know, okay, these are the problems in this law. Then taking help of this law, they can make some amendments, they can make some changes, and they can bring a better and a new law. Okay, so this is how it helps as a source for developing new laws. We know we can learn from this previous law and we can bring a better law by way of amendment and all the other things. Okay.
Okay.
Bring orderly change through law and social reform.
Ma'am, looking at the picture, I got to know one thing: abolishing of sati system, child marriage, and
yes,
it is the same, I guess, and the dowry thing also.
Yes, dowry thing also. These things are bad. But if you just say that, oh, don't do this, it is very bad. Don't ask for dowry, it is very bad. No one is going to listen to you. But when you say dowry is punishable, then people would think about listening to you, right? So that's how we have in fact got rid of sati. Child marriage also to some extent we have got rid of, right? And now we are fighting against dowry and so many other things. That means law again helps us to bring the necessary reform. Just because something was followed from a very long time, that is, everything is not good. We need reform in the society. Then deliver justice. Deliver justice. Again, someone may suffer, someone may go through some pain, right? We want to provide justice. Justice may be in different ways. Like I said, if there is a dispute between you and me, you may feel that it is justice if I pay you compensation. You might feel that, okay, fine, if the person is sent to the prison, he is imposed fine, that might be justice. So there are different types of different ways how justice is served. And again, just delivering justice is one of the prime functions of law. Okay, control of political system. It is not that if someone becomes the minister, if someone is elected as our representative, that person becomes like an absolute supreme authority. No, even they are controlled by laws. That is why even though parliament is given the power to bring laws, there are some restrictions or limitations. They are also somehow controlled by different laws. Okay, so law also helps us to control the political system. We have different legislations applicable for ministers, MPs, MLAs, everywhere. So law brings that control. Okay. Protection of minorities against majorities. Majority and minority, it may depend on a lot of things, maybe religion, maybe language, maybe culture. We have this majority minority thing, right? So we want to protect the minority from the majority. So for minority protection, we may have different provisions. We may have scholarships, some reservations, some special schemes given to them. Okay, so this is again nothing but protection of minorities against majorities. We even have specific bodies established for them, right? For scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, you would see in Delhi police, there is a specific cell only dedicated to SC/ST people. Like that, we have a lot of provisions. So law also helps to protect interest of minorities from the majorities. Next one talks about regulations relating to trade, business, profession, etc. Otherwise, we are free to enter into any trade, any business, any profession that we want. But there are some regulations over that also. I think you are aware, right? After completing your LLB, can you directly start practicing?
Ma'am, I guess we have to write a bar council exam.
Yes.
And then we have to start practicing. And if it's apprenticeship, we can do it like that only.
If it is?
Like the apprenticeship, sorry, internship.
Internship, yes.
Yeah, we can do it under senior lawyer. But then after LLB, we have to write the bar council exam and then we have to start practicing.
Yes. So that means just because you have a degree, it is not enough for you, right? This profession, to enter into legal profession, you need a license. Same ways for many other professions, you need a license. For many other trades or businesses, you would need to get yourself registered. To maintain the registration, you need to pay some yearly fee also. You need some approvals, some permissions, etc. These are nothing but regulations. To regulate this practice, some rules and regulations are there which we need to follow. These are also framed by way of law only. Okay, we have laws for so many things. Like today, if I want to open a liquor shop, I cannot simply open it. I would need a lot of permissions and approvals. Okay, same ways, if I want to practice law, I cannot straight away go to the court, but I would need a degree, I would need the license, and so many other formalities are there, right? So these are nothing but done with the help of law only. Next is regulates economic activities in the country. Like today, if I feel like, okay, you are aware, right, that in Amazon is not like Amazon is selling it. There are different vendors.
Yes, ma'am. It tie-ups with some shops or something, and so that it can get it from there, something like that.
Right. So today, take for example, I came to know that, okay, Amazon is not like Amazon. It is having different vendors. Anybody can become a vendor. And I feel like, okay, fine, what I will do is I will also start selling something. Okay, I will also start selling something on Amazon. I cannot do it directly. There are some rules and regulations that I need to follow. There is this GST registration I would need, right? So what is GST regulation? It is nothing but to regulate economic activities in the country. There are some laws we need to do it. There are different types of things that apply, right? There is some TDS, tax deducted at source, all these different laws that are there to regulate economic activities. I need to first follow it. I cannot simply be like, I will also sell on Amazon, right? So this is again happening with the help of law only. Regulates human relations, because we have so many different types of relations. It's also necessary that those relations are regulated by way of law. Okay, so it was like different business agreements between person, different kind of promises made between persons. Not just that, even relation of marriage, divorce, judicial separation, adoption, child custody, guardianship, all these are also regulated by way of law. If today someone gets married, tomorrow the person cannot be like, I don't like you, I'm getting divorced. It has to be approved by the court. You cannot simply say that I'm giving you divorce, right? That means it is again regulated by way of law. Resolving disputes. If there is a conflict between two persons, laws also help us to resolve that. Okay, law may provide for some kind of compromise, some arbitration process. Law may help you to try to settle the dispute, come to some kind of like a compromise sort of a situation. That's how also law helps. Mostly it happens if two companies are there who are having some arguments, then court may help them to come to a settlement that, okay, you also leave some parts, you also like both of us, let's compromise and settle the matter. That's how also law helps resolving disputes. Establishing standards. Okay, so law also establishes some standards like the minimum accepted behavior in a society, right? That this is what we should do. It's not expected that whenever I'm going out, I should be helping every single person who is in need of help, but it is expected from me that I would not unnecessarily go and cause harm to other persons, right? That is nothing but establishing standards. It also regulates international relations. It plays an important role in economic, diplomatic, strategic relationship, how we would deal with other foreign countries. We have different laws like extradition treaty and all that. Like if someone commits a crime in India and then escapes, the person goes to US and he escapes there, can India request US to send that person back to India or not? Those kind of rules are also there, which are nothing but again international. So law also helps there. Last one is interpretation of law. To apply the law, we should be able to understand a law. Okay, like have you seen a legislation?
Legislation as in the thing which makes laws.
See, when we say law, right, it is basically this kind of a statute, a law, or a rule book would be there. Like if I say that don't commit murder, it's a crime. Why would you believe me? You need to believe me because it is written somewhere. Okay, so if I'm saying you that murder is a crime, you can ask me where is it written. That time I should be able to say that it is written in Indian Penal Code, and that is why it's crime. So this Indian Penal Code is nothing but a law. It is an act. It is a statute, right? So statutes are very complicated. Okay, when you read some provisions, these might look very complicated. So law also helps us understand these as well. Okay, I'll just give you one example. See, when you read this certain provision, okay, public servant, something does not matter. See, intending thereby to save or likely to be that he will thereby any person from legal punishment subject to him less punishment than he is liable, he is likely thereby. Okay, so everywhere he and his is mentioned in IPC. Does this mean that this provision is applicable only to male and not to female? What do you understand? Everywhere it is writing he, him, his. Nowhere it mentions she. So do we have a separate provision for female, or what do you think?
So like, as in the rule book, they have mentioned ma'am, they are just considering everybody in the same gender as he, not like he or she.
Not like he or she. Okay, fine.
It's just that
So,
everybody are known as he. They have mentioned it as in common. They have not specified it to be a masculine or something.
okay,
I mean, they are,
correct, correct. But then you cannot simply make that assumption. It has to be written somewhere again, right? So this in fact is written in IPC also. Okay, so just to avoid confusion, they have made it very much clear as well. So they say gender, this when they are using this pronoun he, his, her, whatever, they include both male or female. Okay, so this is how law also helps us to understand the law. We in fact have one subject called interpretation of statute that tells us how to understand the law. When they say, take for example, when you are looking at different sections, right, you will see punishments also being mentioned. Okay,
yes.
sometimes you would see it says it would say imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. Sometimes it would say or shall or may liable to fine. That means sometimes it may be only fine which is given. Sometimes it may be only imprisonment which is given. Like that, there are some things which helps us to understand the law. Okay, that means law only helps us to understand what is the meaning of this certain provision. That's how also law helps us. Okay, like we have this interpretation of law, a subject, we have a legislation called General Clauses Act that defines certain words. That's how also law helps us to understand or derive meaning. That ways we even have, like most of the legislations would start with a preamble or objectives, like say this is preamble, why we needed this particular law. It would try to define. That's how it also helps us to understand the law or to derive meaning from it. Okay, and then you can give conclusion that yes, law do serve a lot of different purposes, and it's not like these 14 are the ones that you need to write. You can even insert your own ideas also. Whatever you think is the function of law, you can add that as well. No restrictions as such. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any point you want to be repeated?
No, ma'am.
Clear, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine then. So you can do one thing. Okay, I will share this document with you. You can go through this question. Is law necessary? That question you can go through. Okay, this one, question number 3, is law necessary? That part you can go through. I'm sure you would understand it because it's the same thing what we have just discussed, but still you go through it and also try to share that list of things which are like taught in your college. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So fine, then we'll end this class here then.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, fine then. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.